How about that cigar?
How about that cigar?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Drew Estate Cigar Studios to episode number 81 of How About That Cigar Live. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, if you would take just a moment, please share us out to your favorite Facebook cigar groups and let as many people know as possible that we are now live so they can join in on the conversation and watch along with you. Thanks so much, as always, for joining us. And as always, we come to you live from the Drew Estate Cigar Studios. And we're going to tell you once again about the Drew Estate Bronxzilla, the Acid 20 Bronxzilla. In 2019, Drew Estate celebrated an important milestone with the global introduction of the Acid 20th anniversary. And now the Acid 20 Bronxzilla, an Ecuadorian Connecticut shade offering that will be available exclusively through Alliance Cigar Company. Wrapped in a creamy, smooth Connecticut shade cover leaf over Indonesian binder and rich Nicaraguan filler, Bronxzilla is packed with bold flavor and aroma. Each 5x54 Robusto is blinged out in chrome foil and packed in a 20-count box emblazoned with the Acid 20 logo. For more information, please visit drewestate.com and alliancecigars.com. So once again, episode number 81. As you can see, Garrett is not live in studio with me. He is live at his home studio. Garrett, how's it going?
Well, much better.
Good.
So for those who don't know, obviously a couple weeks ago and last week I was not on the show, and I had the Rona, and it sucked. It was not fun. I'm feeling so much better. I've been smoking cigars the last couple days now. My taste and smell is maybe 50-60%, so that's starting to come back. But one more week out of studio and it'll be safe to come back with Matt next week, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, feeling much better.
Good.
And excited for our show tonight.
Good. So
Yep.
I didn't want to. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I know we all know what's on your mind. Go ahead. Get your gloating hat on and get it out of your system now, because I'm not going to deal with it.
So here's for real a text I sent to Matt at about just before noon on Sunday. It read, "Please ask your team to use lube and be gentle." Everybody thought the Packers were just going to have their way with the Vikings, myself included.
Yep.
And you talk to any of the experts. In fact, both the Fox team and the ABC crew, they're people that called the locks. Most of them called Packers. It was, that was the pick if that was their game, and rightfully so. Dalvin Cook and the Green Bay run defense. Kirk Cousins only threw 14 passes.
Yeah.
And so the game was fantastic for a Vikings fan. I had a blast.
I know you did. I had a blast for the first 8 minutes of the game.
Oh,
the first quarter. The first quarter was fine, but and I've told other people this too, during pretty much the whole course of that game, even early on when the Packers were winning 14-0, they all, I'm talking everybody from Aaron Rodgers on down, they all looked like they just didn't even want to be there. They looked bored. They looked lackadaisical. They looked like, what the hell are we doing bothering with this game? And then when they started getting railed, they had no sense of urgency, nothing. I was very disappointed in it, but that takes nothing away from the run game, the offensive line. I tell you what, playing really well.
Yeah, that offensive line for Minnesota, they made a couple of key moves, brought in some younger guys that, we are coming from our bye week, which obviously they did some magical things on that line and gave Dalvin great lanes to run in,
Yep.
and gave Cousins enough time on the passing plays and the play action to make some things happen. So yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll see how the rest of the season goes, but
yeah,
both our teams need to play better.
Oh my gosh,
Consistently.
absolutely.
So.
Especially on defense on both for both teams. Our defenses are terrible.
Yeah, and I read today where because we need wide receiver help, and we apparently were looking they were looking to work a trade for somebody, I don't recall who right now, but that fell through. So back to the drawing board. And
Risty's Bears,
they're really good. They're really good. I mean, they had a rough spot, but I still think they're really good. We got to watch out for them.
I think they're better on paper than they've been playing, to be honest.
Yeah.
But when
I
think the potential there,
they're outstanding.
Yeah, no doubt. So. Nick, I'm still not sold on Foles, but
yeah,
I'm still not sold on Cousins either. So
yeah, we'll see how it goes. Well, let's get into our main event of the evening, our special guest segment. And as always, guys, this, our special guest segment is brought to us by Corona Cigar Company and coronacigar.com, the internet's largest and easiest to use virtual cigar store. Corona Cigar Company offers you the finest handmade cigars, humidors, and cigar accessories at the absolute lowest possible price. You'll also find unique and limited cigars containing Florida sun-grown tobacco. As a proud American, President and founder of Corona Cigar Company, Jeff Borshowitz, believed it was possible to bring cigar tobacco farming back to Florida. At Corona Cigar Company and coronacigar.com, you'll find the best selection anywhere in the world of cigars containing this special Florida sun-grown tobacco. If you live in Florida or are just visiting, be sure to visit any of the great Corona Cigar locations in downtown Orlando, Sand Lake, Lake Mary, and also the Davidoff of Geneva Lounge in Tampa. For more info on all of that, please visit coronacigar.com and floridasungrown.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to episode number 81. We've had him on the show before, but it was on a panel discussion. This show is all about Honest Abe. Abe Dababneh from Smoke Inn. Welcome to How About That Cigar Live.
Hey, glad to be here. Pretty sure I was the only guy you could book on election night.
Yeah, we were talking before we went live that when I'm booking dates for the show, I don't even look at what else is going on. I totally spaced that this was election night. So it's crazy watching watching returns in the background and seeing what's going on with all that. But I hope everybody either voted early or made it out to the polls today to put in their votes. So what are things looking like down there for you, Abe?
I mean, I was watching the chaos, but I remember last election where I went to bed saying this was all over, and I woke up to like almost a heart attack. So you don't know. I mean,
right?
Depending what news channel you watch, they're all going to color it the way they want to color it. And,
yeah.
Even when they don't, I don't know if I believe anybody. I don't know if I believe anything anymore in this country. That's the point I've gotten to, especially 2020.
Yeah.
Forget about the media. I didn't believe the media forever. Media is just all horrendous. All news media is horrendous. But I don't trust my own government anymore. I don't know who to trust anymore. I just don't believe anything anymore. So
yeah,
I don't know.
With you.
It's they're claiming that Trump won Florida, but it's who knows.
Yeah,
votes are in, but I'd kind of rather be doing this than watching that right now. Anyways,
yeah.
Me watching the TV, watching who comes in when is not going to change the results. So
exactly,
I get the verdict in the morning, and I don't even think we talked about it a little bit earlier. I don't think we're going to get the verdict in the morning anyway.
Nope.
Oh no way.
It's going to be a long wait. So everybody,
Abe,
just have a cigar and have a drink, and let's just talk.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So Abe, I kind of want to start the discussion off with a little story.
Oh.
About 5 years ago.
Not true.
5 years ago.
Deny.
I bought 2 of the microblend packs from you, and that was all I bought.
Oh,
But
you
in
the collector set?
yeah,
Oh, that was big. Those two, yeah.
yeah. So bought two of them, and in the box came this hat.
Nice. Represent.
Dress trucker hat. I like that one.
And a little note that you had signed, just a quick little, thanks, and then Abe. And ever since then, I've been a huge advocate and supporter of you, and just the attention to customer service and just a little extra love of a hat. And Matt will tell you, and my friends, and they'll tell you, I'm not a big hat wearer, but this is my favorite hat. It's comfortable, and I love it. And so I've wanted for a long time to just say thank you for that piece. And so awesome. Thanks,
Hey,
brother.
I appreciate. Look, the hardest thing is when you have a philosophy is to try to transcend that belief to multiple people who work for you. And I always try to teach everybody, it's always in the small details, right? So, we've upgraded now, Garrett. You get a whole mint too. You get mint with the orders now. And it's a buttermint, and they're good.
Ooh.
I tell the guys to hide the box in the back room because when I walk through shipping, I want to grab like a handful of mints. So
yeah, if that box of mints was anywhere near me, they'd be empty in a day.
But like, what a cool thing! Like, you're a consumer and you open up your box and there's your cigars and there's your litter taped to it. It's a mint.
Yeah,
Like, I was in a mood for a mint right now. It's like great, It's those little things that set you apart, and we're always thinking that way and how to be different. Our cigar of the month club has been killing it, and we're really one of the most popular ones. And I think we're in month 15 or 16. But I said, we should do something to commemorate people who've been in the club 12 months. So we didn't even tell anybody. We ordered these like a month and a half ago, and they just came in, and we just put them all on anybody who had 12 months under the belt. They all just went out, and it was kind of cool. I mean, guys didn't expect it. All of a sudden, some people became 12 months in October, but some people are already like 14. They still got it, And what's cool is every month somebody's going to be making new 12, right? So every month somebody will be getting a patch. We made a nice little commemorative patch. And then I'm already working on the 24 and the 36, milestones. But it's just those little things that just it's cool.
That's really cool. And I actually saw that today. That Eric, Master Sensei from Cigar Dojo, posted his on Instagram. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, that's a really cool deal. And I knew that it had to have just been just an extra little perk that you guys threw in there, and that means, and that little perks like that, just a little personal touch, even just signing a note like you did for Garrett's order, a little personal touch like that goes miles and miles for customer loyalty.
That's why I started that. When we started mail order, I literally used to do every one of those letters myself. I mean, every letter goes out with a handwritten one.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we have like a mega launch or release where like 500 boxes are going out, then we just send a form letter. But typically, all our regular orders go out with a handwritten note, and I do them all myself early in the day. And then that got like insane, and but then now we just have like the guys who are pulling it, write it. But it's important, man, because look, I felt early on, especially when I just started a website, nobody knew who we were, and they're like, man, I was just so grateful somebody found our site and ordered from us. Like, wow, like you're like my hero. Thank you for that order. Because when you first build a website, it's like you put it up and it's like, you're just watching. No orders today. No orders tomorrow. Oh, hey, somebody, you want to write a letter to that dude. Thank you. We appreciate your business.
Yeah.
Because look, I mean, people have tons of options where to buy. I mean, one funny thing I noticed in cigar groups, which is really mind blowing, is like every day, like 2 or 3 guys in the same group will post, where's a good place to buy online, or who has the best? It's like, how many times can this question be asked?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. But it's asked like every day, like multiple times. I mean, it's mind blowing.
Yep.
And there's a lot of great places where people can spend their hard-earned money. So it's important for me to let people know we appreciate it deeply when they choose us and trust us with their business.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go full screen just for a second here because I want to remind everybody watching that this insane prize pack that I'm not going to show you all the stuff right now. If you want to see the pictures of all the stuff that's in this box, go to our Instagram at HBT Cigar and you'll see individual pictures of all the stuff in here. But this is the most legit prize pack I've ever seen. It's by far the most legit prize pack we've ever given away on HBTC. So you guys need to comment on this video, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, comment on this video. And one of you guys is going to have a chance to win all of the awesome stuff in this box. So, Abe, thank you to you guys at Smoke Inn for furnishing a just killer, legit prize pack for us.
Our pleasure, man. So it's about spreading the swag. We love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things, because the show you were on last time, we had a panel discussion with Charlie and Skip and John. And one of the things we usually do on the show we didn't get a chance to do with you, so we're excited to do this tonight, is we like to get your story, and we want our viewers and our listeners to be able to learn about who you are and kind of your origin in the cigar business. So take us back to that that time that you first sat down and fired up a premium hand-rolled cigar.
Well, I mean, I kind of started getting into cigars when I played football. So we'd win, we'd, smoke some Swisher Sweets, what it was. And that was kind of like my first experience. I think I had a cousin who lives in Arizona now who really got into premium cigars and, kind of educated me like, dude, that's not a cigar. I'm like, oh, and I think the first premium cigar I bought was from Diana Gitz, who people might know her as Diana Silvas. Has one of the most famous shops in Chicago, Uptown Tobacco.
Great shop.
That's where I bought my first cigar. I believe it was a Royal Jamaican. That was my first premium cigar, and that's kind of what started the passion. Then I just got the humidor, which was a crap humidor I bought. I mean, guy just sold me a piece of junk, but it was like $300 back then. It was just basically this wooden box price somebody made in their garage, but. And I used to have a humidor in the house, and I have a cigar like almost every other night, maybe even before I went to bed. That's kind of how I got into it. I guess how I got into enjoying cigars.
And then how did that evolve into Smoke Inn? How did Smoke Inn get its start?
I was in a trip in North Carolina, and I had met a man, a really great guy. He had just sold his company. They made all the interior moldings for all the American-made cars, and just happened to run into him on a trip. We became very good friends, and a week later, we met another friend who kind of all hung out together, who was from New York. And at that time, I was running the family business, and after we all went home, my friend from New York stayed in North Carolina for a while, and then he wanted to move to Florida to open up a cigar shop. And at that point, they asked me about doing a cigar shop. They were coming to Florida. I had just taken over the family business. So I'm like, yeah, there's no way I'm leaving, but I'll do a shop up here. So they had opened up the first Smoke Inn in Tequesta, Florida, and I was working on doing a Smoke Inn in Winnetka, Illinois. In the meantime, while we were going on, because finding a place and actually dealing with McDonald's, who was the landlord we were looking to lease the space, was a real nightmare. I just started distributing cigars to any liquor store, country club, bar, anybody who wanted to have a cigars. And it was crazy because my brother's grammar school friend, his dad ended up was a big distributor at the time in Chicago. So that's how I got to meet him. And I didn't even have a tobacco license. I just go in there and buy cigars cash. And then I would put them in all these places all around Chicago. And I was doing so well in the family grocery business that the co-op, the company that used to buy all the groceries for us and then distribute to all the independent grocers, they wanted to give me another store. It was a big location. I guess it got mismanaged. It had been there for years, as far as I can remember, and it was a big competitor. I mean, it was probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 times the size of our family business that we had. And they just kind of wanted to give it to me. They say, hey, you've been doing such a good job running this place. Why, these guys haven't been paying their loan. Just take it over. Go take it over and keep it alone. And I was like, whoa. And I kind of just really realized if I do this, I'm probably never, ever getting out of the grocery business.
Yeah.
And I literally came to Florida just to get away and think about it. And I was supposed to come down for 7-10 days. And while I was down here, my friend who had originally opened the first Smoke Inn just said, look, that place in Chicago is taking forever. Screw it. Why don't you just come down here and stay down here? And that's what I did. I literally never went back. My father called me literally 12 days. Are you not supposed to be back in Chicago? And I'm like, yeah, about that. Yeah. So 2 months later, I flew back and did everything I could in my red GMC Jimmy and came back. And then 2 years later, that partner, moved on, and the rest kind of was just history. We started opening up stores and doing stuff.
Yeah. And when did how, because you talked a minute ago about early on seeing a new order come in from the website and being just so excited and humbled by the fact that somebody chose to buy from you online, and you fill that order, and then things progress and get bigger, and then you start seeing 1 or 2 orders a day, then it's 5 or 10 orders a day, then it's a couple hundred orders a day. And how did the internet part of it start, and what is the growth really been like for you? Because you really are one of the most prolific, well-stocked, knowledgeable online retailers out there.
Thank you. Everything was kind of organic and kind of forced, just of situations in the moment. So, I had one store, and then I had another company that I was doing private labeling for. In fact, I created the first private labeling house brand program for, back then it was called Caribe Imported Cigars, known as Camacho, right? So they had no way, they had this idea, they wanted to do some private labeling, and they didn't know how to do it. So I kind of did I made the bands. I had a graphics background too when I was in Chicago. So I made the bands literally for them. So all these accounts all over the country, some of these guys today know me well. They don't even know I used to make the bands for them. It's just crazy. And sometimes I've never been to a shop, but if I run into a shop, oh, I remember that shop. They used to go through a lot of bands, right? So I started the original private label program, and then after running that for so many years and doing very well, they just kind of cut me out of it. And so I was forced to replace that income, and that's what drove me to open up my second store. So then I had my second store, and can't remember what happened first, my third store, the web. But what really talked to me about doing a web was Jonathan Drew. I didn't want to do a website. I didn't want to do an e-commerce business. I didn't understand it because that's not what I enjoyed about the cigars, right? I enjoyed the people and the interaction in the cigar shop. That's where I knew I could excel because, let's face it, we all sell 90% of the same stuff, right? So no one's walking out of our shop saying, oh, that was the best, underground cigar I ever had, right? So I didn't comprehend how I could even compete or make a difference or do anything in the internet world. So Jonathan Drew really just pounded me hard for 2 weeks. And I really just gave in. And we started 12 down it. And there was an epic fail in the beginning, trying to put it together. I had all these really stupid ideas to try to make it different. There's actually some program that's still buried somewhere in the archives that some guy created. It's me and a wheel of fortune, spinning the wheel, and my arm pulls down and you get some kind of I thought of all these stupid ways to try to make it different, that thank God never came to fruition. What really kind of put us on the map first was when we did the subculture with Drew Estate. We did the Acid Ming, and that was a big thing. And people looked for us from all over the country to find that cigar, And technically that could be listed as our first micro blend, though it was a subculture cigar, and we didn't even know what a microblend was at that moment. But that was like the first thing that kind of put us on a national map.
Yeah.
Then the next thing that really catapulted us from obscure, semi-known shop was our first microblend cigar, the Tatuaje Anarchy. Pete and I were just talking about this. Probably, I could comfortably say, the most successful single store release in the history of this business.
Yeah.
I mean, for the size of business that we went through an absurd amount of cigars. I mean, just absurd. I mean, it was like an initial order of 1,500 15-count boxes, and then I doubled down on it like 3 months later.
Yeah.
Like how crazy it was. I couldn't do that today. I couldn't go through 3,000 boxes of microblend today. I mean, that's how insane that was back then. But that was just extremely well marketed, and the timing was right, and the single store releases hadn't been prolific, but we really wanted something that would signify that this wasn't just, look, there's a lot of games played in this industry, and it was very important to me that this didn't look like another stick in somebody's line that was just rebanded. That's where Pete came up with that really unique, like literally anarchy shape. I don't know if it existed before anarchy, with the kind of like a perfecto, but not a perfecto, and then the honey bun top.
Yeah.
So, and that was in Playboy magazine. So that really was another catapult. It's just kind of been one of these catapults of another, and like now for us, it's like our Cigar of the Month Club is really like separate us and brought so much attention to my organization, and it's just we keep taking these steps of how do we do something better, because technically, I mean, none of these ideas were I was the first. I wasn't the first to have a store exclusive, wasn't the first to have a Cigar Month Club. We just see something that doesn't or could work better, let's say, and we just try to make it better, and that's, I think, what we've done successfully over the years.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of the microblend series, you guys were very kind to send us some of the Espinosa Bunker Buster. The Fubar.
Yeah.
And
I like that cigar. That was my staple cigar during the first 5 weeks of quarantine when they shut us down. Like I had taken a bunch of those home, and I was like smoking a few every night. That was like my staple COVID cigar, I think.
Well, and I'm still looking for OG Bunker Busters, because after those two packs that I bought of the microblend series, the Bunker Buster, obviously the Anarchy that's the gem, but the Bunker Buster was fantastic. And
yeah, we had some. I dug some out during my Espinosa virtual event. I got to see if there was any left. I don't know. We sold out. I had 15 boxes and we had 15 packages, but I think they may have all gone. But we dug some out. During my Espinosa virtual event, which is another pivot for us, right? We just had an epic one with Pete Johnson. We still haven't fulfilled all the orders from the 28th. He had sent us like this amount of shrunken pumpkins where like we had to tell him, look, if we don't go through them, send them back.
Yeah.
We went through them and he had to send us a second shipment. And then he just had to send us a third shipment Monday to fulfill all the orders we got. So, but this new way of doing virtual events was another pivot. So now we weren't just, going to put a sale up online. We actually did something, and they're kind of cool the way we've done them, because there have always been some kind of packages. So like one of the packages on the Espinosa one had not only an original Bunker Buster, but a new one signed and a couple other boxes that Eric had all autographed and signed. But I'll check, Garrett. I don't know if I have any left. I think we dug them all out of the. That's the thing with these virtual events. We really need something.
I know.
So I'm going really into the vaults to drag stuff out for these virtual events.
Garrett's working he's weaseling like strong right now. So good job.
No,
Garrett.
well, but here was my original point was all of these, ideas and things that you had. I mean, they can be great, and fanboys can only get you so far, right? And with a, Pete Johnson product, there's going to be fanboys, but with that Anarchy, it was special. It was a great cigar, and it went beyond fanboys.
Well, I had nobody to thank but Pete for that. I mean, I mean, granted, like I think we picked like that blend out of a couple variations that he kept on sending us, but that was my 10th anniversary. That was the original purpose of it, and Pete really wanted to make something special because even when I talked to him about something different in a shape, but like that cigar was released in December, and I don't think anybody knew what it was or who it was for until November. But we started marketing that like in April, like silently.
Yeah.
Like nobody knew what Anarchy was. And it was just an epic marketing campaign that by the time the cigar was found out, everybody had already been listening about the cigar. So yeah, I don't even think Pete realized what he was in for when he signed up for. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't think he knew what he was in for when he signed up for Anarchy. And it's one of my proudest projects. It's great.
For sure. Are
Yeah,
you
it's great.
smoking with us tonight, Abe?
I'm in a hotel room, so I can't.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, okay.
I am not in my office. I'm on the road, but I didn't want to miss this show. That's why I got this like mock-up little roll-up thing I threw in the trunk of the car. But yeah, I'm on the road, so had to do a
Awesome.
short little trip. Yeah.
So, with over the course of the years, with building up the retail business, multiple locations, getting the online business thriving, what is the thing that you say about Smokey, and whether it's your retail locations or your online business? What is the number one thing you want one of your customers to take away from their experience being a customer of yours?
Every interaction should be of the utmost, like a positive experience, and that's what we strive ourselves on. We go, and it's not just me. What I'm really proud of is the guys that work on our team has adopted my psychotic mentality. They're answering stuff at 11:30 at night to people, not because I'm asking them to, I'm forcing them to. That this mentality of, look, we got to service these people, right? No, because I know what it's like to be a frustrated customer, and I don't want to impose that on anybody, So, I think 99.99% of the time, we always know how to make a customer happy. I mean, look, we're not perfect. We drop balls, mistakes happen. It just happens. It's the way it goes. But it's not about the mistake happening. It's how you handle it as a company when it does. So I think that's the utmost thing. I mean, look, we've never known to gouge. I mean, we just had a Pete Johnson event, and everybody was shocked that we didn't mark up some of that stuff. No, that's not what we do. We don't gouge. We charge a fair price. We try to do great, phenomenal deals. And if you're about the culture experience, I mean, that's all we do. We're about the culture experience. I mean, that's what I've always built my company on, is how do we do things differently. We were the first people to do a poker tournament and send somebody to play in the World Series of Poker. I mean, we started doing that 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
And we stopped doing that because that was designed for our patrons and people who were our customers and liked poker. And then over the years, it started to become less of cigar patrons and more of just guys who wanted 1 in 150 chance of winning a seat at the main event at the World Series. So you had these guys coming who weren't even cigar smokers to play the poker game.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just kind of said, well, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
We're not really doing it for our clientele. So
yeah. So what? One thing I've always been curious about, and I like to ask even regional shops, here in our Minneapolis, St. Paul area. If you go back to when, and I'm talking about the TAA here, when you go back to when the TAA came calling, because it's correct me if I'm wrong, it's an invite, but it's a by invite organization for Smokey and as a retail group to become a part of the TAA.
Yeah.
When did TAA come calling, and what does that mean for a business like yours to have that association with them?
Well, I mean, look, in your career, look, have you guys been to a trade show yet?
I've been to 4.
Okay, so you know the routine, right?
Yeah.
Well, I went to a trade show for many years, and I didn't even know that you got taken out anywhere. It's like, I remember the first time, I think it was Ashton maybe, or somebody invited me to a dinner. And I'm like, oh, you guys want to take me out to dinner? Like, I'm thinking, oh, they want to just take me out to dinner. They're friends. Not knowing that they invite like 300 people for 2 nights. I'm like, you mean you guys do this shit every year? Where have I been?
I'm not the only one.
You're right. Because, if you're under the radar, like you don't even know these things. We used to go do our buying, go back to our hotel room. Nobody knew us. We weren't socializing with anybody. So, yeah, it was like a few years before I even realized like you get invited to like some really good stuff at the trade show. So like there's always these steps, right? And then I got asked to be on the board of the IPCPR, which they always sound great, but they always end up being regretted, later on down the road. But it was a milestone in my career, because when you first get in this industry, like, oh, there's a board of directors. I wonder how you do that. And then one day you get in the call, they want you to, be on the board. So when I got the call for the TAA, it was the same thing. I was like, wow, someone had to nominate me. So I joined and I got the benefits of the TAA, but I haven't been a fan of the TAA for a long time, just because of some of their ideologies and business practices, They get this stupid rule where if you don't go 2 years in a row, they kick you out, which makes no sense to me.
Wow.
I pay my dues every year. Yeah, they're going to kick me out last year, so I ended up putting somebody on a plane at the last minute, a year before last year. Yeah, so now I have to send somebody every other year to go to the TAA just to fly in, hello, and fly out, because it's just silly because I pay my dues. If I pay my dues, why do you care if I have to fly all the way down there? I do more buying than some of the people who are there, who just want the free meal and the free booze. So, crap like that turns me off, So, I'm not thrilled with how they do things, but I'm a member of the TAA, and I see a big shift in our industry now from lies manufacturers to pull more support in for the PCA, which I think is a good move. I kind of agree with that. So, we didn't get to see it this year, but hopefully we'll see it next year.
Yeah.
Because the PCA is a more viable organization for everybody. In
the long term, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah. The PCA is kind of like an old boys club. They're guys who, they get a deal and they get to buy things, and look, if there was this is what you have to be a TA member, right? You have to do X number of dollars in business, or have so many locations, or been in business so many years. Like, this was the standard, right? This is the criteria that it takes to belong. I'd be all right with it, but that's not. It's kind of like, it depends on who you are and who's in, and that's not my style.
Well, and so this is a pretty heavy question, and you feel free to not answer, but is it worth it?
The TAA?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you outright, as far as I'm concerned, because you get to a level where, you pretty much could buy well most times of the year. So is it worth it for us? The reason why it was worth it, and I'll tell you right now, because I cursed Pete Johnson over it. You couldn't get his cigar unless you went.
Right.
So the TAA, and we would sell. I think my last order of the TAA was 400 boxes. He actually texted me, "Are you sure you want 400 boxes?" I'm like, "Yeah." But I mean, I think even in the early days, we were ordering 150 to 200. So when you figure that alone, that's worth the trip.
Right.
Right. You sell 200 boxes or something, it's $150 a crack. You could do the math. All right, man. I'll put a guy in coach airfare, send him down there for a day, and come back. So that's kind of was my draw. I mean, there were some other amazingly good TAAs, like the Padron TAA, but the rest of them were kind of like, okay, here and there, maybe okay, but no real legs to it. And then they bastardized it. Now there were, I would get like 22 TAA releases. Like, get out of here. I mean, you're gonna build a TAA store, So they kind of ruined that, in my opinion. But honestly, that's what was worth it for me.
Yeah,
that's what logistically made the numbers worth it.
Yeah. So,
and he was a stickler. Like, if you didn't go, even if you were a member, he wouldn't send you the product. You couldn't buy the product. So even though I paid my dues, and I was a member, if I physically wasn't at the TA to place an order, you wouldn't send you product.
Wow.
And then he loosened up like in the last year or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the biggest reason that we wanted to have you on tonight is to talk about the Great Smoke and this new imagining of the Great Smoke. But before we talk about the new imagining of the Great Smoke, I want to learn about the origins of the Great Smoke. When did it start? And what did it look like in the beginning as far as an event goes, and how has it progressed from there?
So the Great Smoke was first, the overall kind of concept for Great Smoke was first put in my head by Eric Espinosa. He wanted to do a big smoke type of event in Florida. And we kind of looked all over, and there was just no venue that would allow smoking back then. It just wasn't going to happen. So that got put to bed. It never came to fruition. And then I had a 10th anniversary party in September. And this was right before the Anarchy release. No, this is the year after. So yeah, a 10th anniversary in September. And we had given away a Harley. I had 4 manufacturers involved: Oliva, Camacho, Drew Estate, and Rocky. And we made just one box that had 10 of each of their company cigars. One they had made just for this box of cigars. It was production for this. And when you bought one of these boxes, it had 40 cigars. I mean, it was 15 of each, 60 cigars. And I got one of these boxes somewhere still. But it was like $300 for the box. And it came with like a little medallion that you popped off. And there was only 150 of those boxes made. So you had a 1 in 50 chance of winning this Harley.
Yeah.
And we had literally 600 to 700 people packed in this courtyard in front of my shop. And a lot of the guys in the industry came to that event because it was my 10th anniversary party, even though their company wasn't involved. And one of the guys was Mike Argeni, who was Nick Perdomo's brother-in-law, who was vice president of Perdomo Cigars at the time. And after the event, we all went out drinking. He just says to me, I've never seen an event like that. That was mind-blowing. It was, what's the next type of event you do? This is I've never seen events to that scale other than a JR mega event. Even some of those weren't as big. You had 600, 700, 800 people out here, and they stayed the whole time. And you give away because that was the most amazing thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
And that resonated with me that night. And the next morning, hungover, I stroll off to the shop because the boys are cooking lunch on a Saturday because our event was Friday night. And I'm looking at this courtyard. We had 600 people here. I'm like, wow, you know what? I bet I could do a big smoke style event here. And that's how that came to fruition. I concocted this whole idea how it was just a fountain. It was a courtyard in this U-shaped area of a shopping center. And I'm like, we're going to put triangle angled booths. I could put 30 some booths in here. And this was, like I said, it was in September. So I said, I was going to take a whole year. This was maybe even November. I got to look, but I was going to take a whole year and do it the following year. That would give me time to plan it. Okay. So I remember starting to talk to companies. They're like, you want to do what? You want to do what? And they were all very, receptive after I kind of explained it to them, kind of like what I'm going through now with the digital TGS. But I heard a story from Christian Aroa of Camacho Cigars, now, CLE, that Francois, who ran Thompson's over on the West Coast, had just flown into the Hard Rock over here on the East Coast. Now, they had just thrown their mega multi-vendor event at the Hard Rock on the West Coast. Yeah. So now I got all paranoid saying, this guy's flying over here because he wants to do the event over here. So I just got freaked out and said, if he does his event first, my event's never happening. So instead of doing it a year later, I made it that February.
Oh, wow.
So with no graphic guy, barely at staff, no manpower, no experience, I literally did all the printing and the work and the marketing. Our first tickets were duplicate forms. We'd hand them out to people. It's crazy. But we pulled it off. It was like good, 300 plus people there for the first one ever, just in the middle of the courtyard. I didn't even ask the landlord's permission. The property manager happened to walk by after the whole thing was over, looking around. It's like, what the fuck is this? Because we had taken the whole courtyard.
Yeah.
Cars were parked everywhere. The shelter wasn't ready for it, but none of the tenants' neighbors mind, because I bought like 400 people. They all ended up going to get pizza and going to get stuff from Panera. So they all did great. And the property manager came out freaking out, screaming out, like, what are you talking about? Now, they just bought the center like 2-3 months ago. Oh, man, I had permission to do this from the guys before. We'd already discussed this. They didn't tell you?
That's perfect.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But that guy, his name was Jay Canuck, ended up being a nice guy, loved the event, ended up supporting it for many years to come until they actually sold the center. So, so we did the first two in front of the center, that little courtyard. Then it became shoulder to shoulder craziness.
Yeah.
We just couldn't handle it. So then we started to take over the side parking lot, and then more of the side parking lot until it was the whole thing. And then we outgrew the center, and then we had to move to the American German Club, where we did it for 2 or 3 years. And now for the last 2 years, we did it at the South Florida Fairgrounds. It was like, you're never going to outgrow the South. You outgrow the South Florida Fairgrounds, somebody's retiring. Yeah, so we've been doing it there for the last 15 years. And last year was the first time ever that we've done it. And we don't know anybody else who's ever done it, but we themed the event. And it was really, really cool. And it was all disco themed, and it was nice because we were able to work the art and the colors, and because we used to do elements, like 1 year was fire, 1 year was all wood grains and metal grains. I was like, I get bored of it, and I don't know how when I saw the pattern he was using for the grain, I'm like, man, this effect you got here, it kind of looks like there's a disco ball. Whoa, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
and we made it. Can you dig it? That was the slogan, and we just decided every year after that we were going to theme it. And we had already announced on the video teasers from February that next year was going to be the power of the poi, the Hawaiian luau. So I found it very funny when CI had it all like luau themed virtual herf this year. But that's good because that just means they're watching. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. That's all good. Well, I mean, the progression of it from, just what a lot of us who haven't, if you haven't been to a really big event like that before, but you've been to some medium, small events at some local shops, there's some tents set up, maybe some kegs, a guy making tacos, maybe a food truck, something like that. But what you guys have turned it into, like you said, it's a themed event. It's something that is, it goes beyond just a regular cigar event where you get a deal and you get a hat and that kind of thing. It's beyond that. It's like a full on cigar event experience,
Well, that's the thing that we did from day one. A lot of these events sometimes are sales driven events, right? We always knew there'd be sales, but we always emphasize on how can we make this the best experience and how do we keep making this experience better every year. And we've had stuff like bull riding, dunk tanks, and just whatever we could think of to keep changing the element. And at first it was just a local event, and then I'll never forget, I started getting calls from these guys who couldn't get CI tickets, and like, well, we're coming down to your event, what do you do? I'm like, we have an event. Well, what else do you do? We have an event. I didn't know the guy's call. He's like, what do you mean, that's it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh no, man, you don't do a pre-party and what? So, the guy ended up coming down. He had a great time. This guy from, I think it was Boston. He ended up coming down. He had a great time. He flew in. He actually came down to the event because he heard of it and couldn't get into the Cigar International's event, and said it was 10 times better. But he made a good point to me. He says, look, I paid airfare, I paid a hotel room, and it's over in 4 hours.
Yeah.
So then the following year we added an after party, and then an after party then became a dinner, and then it became a party before that day, and then 2 parties at the dinner, and then 2 after parties, and then a brunch, and now it's like a whole 5-day extravaganza.
Yeah. And next thing you know, there's people moving in and sleeping in their cars.
look, you know what's funny is the fairgrounds. We actually were thinking about it. The fairgrounds actually has slots for RVs.
Yeah.
And we were just thinking about marketing the RV people and just have RVs all over the fairgrounds, and then incorporate another event, which was going to be a bonfire concert at night. But that's the stuff we keep trying to do. We never get lazy. We never say this is how we do it. We just do it every year, which makes it hard because like every year it's almost like kind of doing it for the first time again. But it doesn't get stale, and that's why our event keeps growing every year by leaps and bounds. Every guy I know comes back with 4 or 5 friends.
Yeah.
There are guys I see once a year who have all 15 lanyards for every year. They're already showing up with it, you know? And there's been great stories over the years of guys who forgot their tickets. I mean, I've become friends with these guys. James Luckabill. Look, we used to send physical tickets, like very pretty Super Bowl style tickets, you know? And that was like the worst nightmare ever because people would lose them. They wouldn't get in the mail. I mean, just every concoction of a story ever. And now we went to digital, right? So there's a great story where I was just getting beat up because that's what happens 3 or 4 days before the event. I have to listen to every story. Every person lost their ticket. Their wife threw it out. They don't know where it went. The dog made it. It's nonstop. And the problem is, as a retailer, you know that there's a good percentage of these stories that aren't true.
Right.
We actually caught a guy once who claimed his ticket didn't come in the mail and whatever. We left him a ticket will call, but all our tickets were numbered. So we were giving away like a 20-pound solid piece of silver that was shaped in the Great Smoke logo. So everybody's waiting for the drawing, but I got up on stage. I didn't say I was doing the drawing. I just said, "Hey, would the guy with ticket number so come down?" The guy thinking he won comes right down. He goes, "Where the fuck did you get your ticket, dude?" And it was the same guy. He lied.
Yeah.
He got a ticket, then got a free ticket. So, I mean, you don't know what to do. And then you feel sorry for these people that come into our town. So it really is like a very rough struggle. So then it's the morning of the event. People are lined up. This is all going on. This dude who's got a beard braided down to his belly button. Big dude, bald, comes up to me and says, "Look, I just flew down. I came from Texas. I left my ticket in the kitchen. I don't want a free ticket." So my ears went, "What?" He goes, "I'm going to walk over there and I'm going to buy a ticket right now. But when I get home, can I mail you that other ticket and get a refund?" And dude, the light bulb went on my head. I'm like, how the fuck did I not think of this myself? I just, dude, you could go in for free right now. You win. I was so like, it was like the most honest, because only a guy who was really 100% honest would be concerned about that. And he's like, "No, I'll mail you my ticket." I said, "No, bro, you keep that ticket.
Yeah.
That ticket. I don't want it. You go in, have fun." And he came back the next year with that ticket, and I signed it for him. He's got it framed in his lounge till this day. So yeah, there's some cool stories over the years from the Great Smoke.
Yeah.
I want to hear this. Matt, that comment. Yeah, I want to hear this story.
Pete Hernandez.
The Pete Hernandez bull ride?
Yeah, we got to hear this story.
One of the most epic videos we've ever made in my organization. It exists on YouTube somewhere. You got to watch it. It's hilarious. Pete Hernandez gets completely intoxicated, and if you don't know him, he's a big guy, right? So he was begging me to go ride the bull. I was smart enough not to even attempt to ride this bull, right? So he gets on this bull, and it's like a trampoline bottom. So when you fall, it doesn't hurt. So he's bouncing up and down, and he attempts to get up. He can't get up. He's bouncing down. He attempts to get up. He can't get up. And this goes on for a while. And then this old dude and this young guy is trying to prop him up, right? So after like a couple of okay, we got it. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. I get him up on this bull, and he just gets on. And before the guy could walk to the machine and turn the bull on, Steve falls right off, bro. It was like the most, it's hilarious. You got to watch it. It's on the Wilkins YouTube channel. You got to go back, a few years, but you'll notice the thumbnail says bull ride. So it's an
if one of our viewers out there can search that on YouTube and post the link to that video in the comments, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's an epic video from one of the Great Smoke years.
So then, you know, we come up to present day, and 2020 happens. You know, it is what it is. Everybody's got to make adjustments. You gotta change the way you do things. So you guys came up with this new concept for the upcoming Great Smoke 2021, the digital experience. So, you know, tell us what, you know, what this event is going to be like, because like we talked about before we went live, there have, since, you know, the quarantine and all this stuff happened, there's been a lot of places and companies and different whoever that have been having Zoom chats and virtual herfs and stuff like that. But what you guys have in the works is it blows that out of the water. So give us an idea of what this is going to be like.
I've been using the word historic a lot. That's kind of what I'm trying to coin it as a historic event.
And let me know when you want me to roll that video too.
Yeah. Thank you. I will. So look, you know, we got blessed and lucky in 2019. I mean, literally, like, things weren't still that serious. Some people still weren't taking COVID serious. You're listening to it, it's like something going on in China, and we literally had like the most epic Great Smoke we've ever had. People loved it. They were talking about, and then the world shut down. I mean, it was crazy, and I'm starting to.
Terry's back. We're good now.
Okay, there we go.
Yep. Internet blip.
So, you know, and after we got through this event, we felt so lucky. I started seeing all these other major events getting canceled. I'm like, oh my God, I could imagine if I had to cancel my event, like at the last minute. Oh my God. So, right. You know, as the summer went by and we're hearing events getting canceled in November and December. And the problem is with stuff like this, you know, you have to book and make things way in advance. So we had to make a decision. Do we pass this year? Because I had a feeling that TPE was going to get canceled, and it did, and that's in January. And the way things are going, I just didn't know if society was ready to go to a 2,000-3,000 multi-vendor event. And to be honest with you, I kind of really think if I throw it, I mean, our fans are hardcore. I think they'd come.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'd be the best thing for them or the safest thing for them. So, I had watched the Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival do their virtual herf too, and just realized early on, I think somebody else had done it. I said, this is just a Zoom chat, you know, it's on a package. I said, this can't be how we do it. So I literally can't remember how I came up with the idea, but I just wanted to do, and I don't know if you guys are old enough, but basically like a telethon, Jerry Lewis telethon style.
Oh yeah.
And then mix it up with QVC, where there's selling going on, and there's entertainers, and there's interviews, and you know, that's typically how it happens. I'll think of just something really, really crazy, and then we all start working to figure out how we can make it happen. So the thing is that if we're going to do this and make it a virtual event, so look, it's a real layup as far as the package. We're going to have this epic package called a party in the box, which is basically going to be, you get this nice, durable, you know, 30 count traveling cigar case. You're going to get 40 premium cigars. When I say 40 premium, anybody who's been to the Great Smoke knows these are all legit brands. There's no house brands. There's no crap. I mean, I saw somebody post one of the 30 cigars from one recent event, and it was like 10 of them, like I never even heard of. So these are all name brands. Now, sometimes you may not know it, but like we just bought in for the first time Excelsior Cigars, which is the Oliva Tobacco family.
Yep.
Right. And, you know, we had them on KMA for the first time. These guys make an incredible cigar. And their story, I mean, these guys are like the tobacco guys. So, you know, this is their debuting year. It's their first year in the Great Smoke. So, you know, but never crap or house brands. They're 40 legitimate brands. I don't know off the top of my head, but I think the value on the cigars is almost $350+. So In there will be an official hat, official shirt, a shot glass we made. We got this cool little cigar band bank, this glass thing you can mount on a wall and you can just fill up with cigar bands from all to this. And honestly, I'm still working on other things, so the package isn't even done. It's going to be better than what's ever shown, right? I'm working on a deal. I'm trying to get this I won't say the name of the company because we haven't finalized it yet. But these sausage roll logs. It's name brand cool, like you can have a hard salami or super sad that didn't need to be refrigerated that we could send in transit.
Yeah.
Right? So just to make a party in the box. So those are going to be delivered for $169. So the shipping's a little bit expensive. We have to send a signature confirmation because we need to know you got your box.
Yep.
But the value alone is a layup. So forget the experience. If you get that alone, you're getting a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
But we wanted something interactive. So we have this little Tonight Show format. There's really 3 stages: main stage, stage right, stage left. I got this production team coming out of Atlanta that's worked on the Golden Globes, Kings of Comedy, Soul Train. Yeah. So we're going to do it in front of a live audience because this type of show really has got to be in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
You know? And we want that interaction too, because there's going to be 2 hosts at all time, and there's going to be some press releases coming out in the next week or so, because we got some very epic people that are going to be co-hosting this event with me because it's that big of a production, right? So, and there's going to be itinerary. So it's 8 hours. So if you want to make sure you don't want to miss Carlito Fuente, you know exactly approximately what time he comes on. If you want to make sure you don't want to miss Pete Johnson, you know exactly roughly what time he comes on. If there's an entertainer or comedian we have, you know. So as we get closer to the date, that itinerary will be posted. So basically how this works is anybody who buys a ticket will get this party in a box. And then on their account, and these boxes will be shipped in February. They should arrive the second week of February. And on your account and our login site, there'll be a link that'll allow you to come into a portal. This portal is what will give you access to any additional promotions that we got going on. There'll be box discounts like we have at every Great Smoke, real steep discounts where you guys can save a lot of money. And this year we have a lot of select manufacturers, guys who are some of the best: Pete Johnson, Carlito Puente, Steve Saka. We have Eric Aganor Salif, Nick Perdomo. These guys are all making very special limited runs that will only be released during they'll have a little segment feature. We call it the manufacturer feature. And we're going to talk about it. And then they'll guide people have 30 minutes to buy it if they want to buy it. So, we hope to make it cool, and we hope we get thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people who want to view this. But no one's ever done anything like this before.
Right.
So either it's going to be like one of the most insane talked about things and an extreme success, or it's going to be a flop. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's a middle ground on this one. But I'm hoping for the former. You know, I think we can pull it off. I think on paper we have things thought out well. It just comes down to a matter of execution because, you know, there's certain things we just haven't done before. But we got really cool marketing campaigns going, which we're going to air one of the commercials right now. You guys will be the premiere. No one's seen this yet in the country. We're going to air it here first. But, you know, we want to promote watch parties, right? Because there still has to be that experience. You don't want to be sitting at home watching on your phone or laptop by yourself. So we want people who buy tickets to get together and hopefully watch together, make a day out of it, right? So we get like this network of people working to make this as historic as I'm trying to make this, right? And I saw something I've never seen before. I saw another retailer post in Dallas, right? He's hosting a watch party. So he's trying to get his customers because he just believes in this brotherhood and this cool thing that he wants to promote our event for this. And I just thought that was amazing. I reached out to him. I was like, let me know how many people you get. I'm going to send all your guys' stuff, hook you guys up because, you know, I mean, that's just for me an amazing move, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, a lot of people in our industry aren't that they're very short-sighted, right?
Well,
I
I agree with you. A lot of times people like to keep things kind of close to the vest, you know?
I got a lot of help along the way. So, I just spent an hour talking with another retailer up in the East Coast somewhere who wanted to pick my brain on some advice. Hey, listen, I got it. You got it. It's all right, man. That's the way it goes, because it makes everybody better.
Mm-hmm.
I become a better retailer because I keep watching guys who are better than me, and I try to become better. So it's all good.
Yeah.
But I was so touched by that, that we have retailers involved. So anyways, what we're doing is we're doing this great promotion with a company called Feed the Party out of Kentucky. Now I'll put the Honest Abe guarantee on this. They have filet mignon, they have strip steaks, they have huge salmon fillets. It gets delivered to your door, dry ice in a box. But I am not a pork chop person. I've never been a pork chop person. The best pork chops you'll ever have in your life, guaranteed, right? So these guys at Feed the Party who knew about our event reached out to us, and we came up with this awesome concept, right? We want people to throw watch parties, but we got a promotion now. Anytime in the next 2 or 3 months, anybody who wants to post a video, tag Smoke In, tag The Great Smoke, tag me personally, why your watch party is going to be one of the best watch parties in the country. You got to convince us why yours is going to be the best watch party. Not only will we let you dial in during the event so we can broadcast you on the Jumbotron and let everybody in the country see how awesome your watch party is, but Feed the Party will feed your party.
Nice.
We're going to send you a whole meat box, and we got a commercial that we haven't put up live. If you want to air it, you can show it to your fans, be the first ones to see it.
Absolutely. Let's air it right now. Guys, watch this.
Honest Abe here. I'm very excited to talk about a promotion that we're doing for the Great Smoke 2021, the digital experience. We've teamed up with my friends over at Feed the Party. All right, these guys make some of the best pork chops and meats and fillets and salmon that get delivered right to your doorstep. I've used them before. My fans know, they've seen me do box openings. Some of the best pork chops I ever had. I think they're the #1 pork chops in the world. So here's what we're going to do. We want to encourage you to host your own TGS watch party in your local area. Invite your friends, get them all to get tickets, put it on a screen, do something. Post a video on our page on why your party is going to be one of the best parties. And we're going to pick 5 winners in the next 2 months. If we pick you as a winner, we will broadcast your party in directly live so that everybody in the world can see what an epic party you're having. And our fine folks over at Feed the Party will feed your party. They will send you an epic box filled with filet mignon, strip steaks, my favorite, the world's best pork chops, and a tomahawk ribeye for you to make, and you and your friends, while you're watching the DGS 2021 digital experience, you can eat like kings. So, post your video up on Facebook, Instagram, tag Smoke In Cigars, tag me, myself. We're going to pick 5 winners, one every few weeks, and if you're selected, Feed the Party will feed your party.
I mean, I don't know how you can get any better than that. That sounds absolutely off the charts awesome.
I don't know about you. I just got hungry.
I know.
Yeah, I did. And Abe, we are honored to be the show that you, premiered that commercial on. So thank you for letting us be a part of that. And we're excited to see where this goes, man.
Well, I got to be honest. It was more timing than anything. They literally just finished that this evening and sent it over to me.
We'll take
it. Yeah, you guys want to start this video? I just saw it for the first time a little bit before you guys did, because I knew I was going to be traveling. I had to cut my scenes before I left, and they just put it all together, and my team did a good job. But we're excited, man. We hope this. Look, I've said this before. This is like a renaissance time in our industry. I think what COVID's done is made people have to really think.
Yep.
And get excited and seeing projects like Shrunken Pumpkin from Pete Johnson and the Karloff. I mean, he does the Monster series, but even to just continue pushing like the virtual event he did with us, to see Carlito Fuente all over social media, which is amazing. See George Padron doing videos. To see Carlito and George make a cigar together. I mean, I'm sensing the people that will really flourish and embrace what's going on, and the guys who are thinking how to accommodate the current world status. Because as much as I'd love to have a physical great smoke, and I don't think, even no matter how epic this event, this digital experience that we're doing in 2021 is, it's never going to replace what you experience when you get 3,000 people together in a room, right? In a building. It's just not going to replace that feeling. But we could do a good job of making something cool and something different.
Absolutely.
Something more than just watching a flat screen of faces.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody's been doing, and that's what we don't want to do.
It goes beyond just the virtual HERF. It goes beyond just a Zoom call. It's where, because you know, having 3,000 people in one place at one time is during COVID times is probably a little much, but having these small groups out there, like you said, Abe, having their own watch parties, that's the kicker. And John, one of our viewers, has a question. So can we do the feed party from our local cigar shop? And I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about, John. That's what Abe is getting at, is you can organize your own watch party at your local cigar shop. And, you know, each of you guys go online and get your tickets to the digital experience and, you know, host your own watch party and, you know, get in on this early.
Yep. All you got to do is tell us why you feel yours is going to be the best one.
Yeah.
If we like what you say and you convince us, we will feed your party. But then we're going to put you on the air. You're going to have to back it up. So if we put you on the air and there's one person sitting in the corner, you know, on his phone watch, that's not a watch party.
Right.
So, you know, you got to back it up.
Abe, remind us and our viewers and listeners what the dates are for the digital experience.
So tickets are on sale now at thegreatsmoke.com. Packages will go out and should be delivered the second week in November. The event date is Saturday, February 20th. It's going to start at noon Eastern Standard Time and run to 8 p.m. And I think we literally got to cut like right before 8 p.m. because I think the longest you could broadcast anything on Facebook is 8 p.m. So, it's 8 hours. I mean, it's 8 hours. That's what I was told. But yeah, it's going to be 8 hours. And we're going to, like I said, we got comedians, we got mentalists, we got musicians, we got major cigar industry greats. I got a few surprise simulcasts. I mean, look, what I can promise you is this: as the months edge on further, it's just going to get more crazy because we'll keep thinking of things to add, you know, and that's what we're just doing. You know, it's the first time doing it, so we're just going to be adding stuff as time goes on.
Yeah. Well,
awesome.
So I'm going to put out a challenge right now, and that is, so Garrett and I are members of this Minnesota HERF Connection. It's a Facebook cigar group of people in Minnesota who love cigars, love the cigar culture, and that, I think, is going to be some of the key groups that you guys, all of our viewers around the country, around the world, that you guys want to get in on this. You know, get your local cigar groups that have, you know, you have a Facebook group or something like that. You haven't been able to get together and smoke as often as you wanted over these last 8 months. This is going to be a chance for you guys in February to, you know, really finally get this cigar community back together again. And, you know, we're going to throw out a challenge right now that I happen to be one of the group admins for the Minnesota HERF Connection. And I am going to talk to the other admins and see if we can put together our own Minnesota watch party for the Great Smoke.
And that's what we're looking to do. I got some key people in Atlanta. I got stuff like this, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
Because even though we can't do it here, doesn't mean you guys can't do it.
Exactly.
And if we could create that ambiance where people are literally like, hey, can you imagine watching something for 8 hours? I don't know how it's going to work. Like, look, we actually have like 50 studio tickets. And I can't even understand these people who want to sit there for 8 hours, but they're excited to. It's like mind-boggling. I have friends who said, hey, we're going to fly in. I said, why? I said, like, I did that for like local people. You're going to fly in to sit 8 hours? They're excited. We got multiple people from flying in. I mean, it's just nuts. It's nuts. But if we could create this and pull this off, it'd be another epic landmark for me and my company, man. I'm excited for it. We like the challenge. It's a stressful time for us, but my team really operates well under stress. So, you know, I think
real quick.
Yeah.
I want to just change gears real quick. We can come back to this, but I did want to wish a very happy birthday to Abe.
Dude, stop. You know it's a joke, right?
And from Risty and from everybody, they want to wish you the most happy birthday, Abe.
You know it's a joke, right, Garrett?
I do.
Okay, because like it's an ongoing thing forever. I can't even remember who started it, but like my birthday's every day. And the sad part is I get these text messages at PM. People think it's real. I'm like, dude, it's not my birthday.
We've got a guy at our Minnesota Herf connection who's the same way. His name's Tim Tubbs, and I don't know how it started on the Facebook group, but one day somebody said happy birthday, and he posted. He said, "Guys, it's not my birthday." And from then on, it's every day is happy birthday.
I'm literally like 143 right now. It's crazy.
So happy birthday.
Let's
thank you for the birthday wish.
Let's move into this week's smokabulary word. And let me find my buttons here on the screen. As always, guys, smokabulary is brought to us by AJ Fernandez. Born and raised in Cuba, AJ Fernandez now produces unparalleled premium cigars in Esteli, Nicaragua. The day-to-day operations at Tabacalera AJ Fernandez are managed under the watchful eye of Mr. Fernandez himself in order to ensure superior quality. The AJ Fernandez portfolio of premium cigars provides blend, strength, and flavor profiles to match the preferences of any premium cigar consumer. Whether it's New World, Dias de Gloria, San Latano, Enclave, or Bellas Artes, you are sure to be satisfied with a premium cigar from AJ Fernandez. So this week's smokabulary word is butane. Simple word for those of us in the cigar world who love to smoke premium cigars. Butane is what we fill our lighters with. It is the lovely, and this is the most important part. It is flavorless and odorless. So when you fill your lighters with butane, don't use a Zippo lighter with regular liquid fuel in it because it stinks. So use a Bic lighter for all I care. Bic lighters, I love Bic lighters. I use them all the time. But when I can't find one of my Bic lighters, then I refill my torch lighters or my soft flame lighters with butane. And that is this week's smokabulary word, brought to you by AJ Fernandez.
You got one of my favorite segments out of any show I've ever done or seen. You know that, right? I went and yelled at my producer at the time, which wasn't Val, it was Paul. I said, "Why do you suck? Why can't you come up with good stuff like this? You have one of my favorite segments."
It might be the segment that's coming up next.
It's got to be because
which is my absolute favorite segment of the week as well.
I love it.
And I'm going to let Garrett kick this one off. It is time for
Numero de los Muertos.
I had to say it with you. I love it,
guys. As always, Numero de los Muertos is brought to you by Oveja Negra Brands. They bring you premium smoking experiences forged from tobacco time and talent. Comprised of Black Label Trading Company, Blackwork Studio, Dissident, and Emilio, Oveja Negra Brands provide smokers uncompromising blends renowned for their flavor and lasting impression. Oveja Negra, where art and tobacco collide. Join the flock. Visit ovejanegracigars.com to learn more. Take it away, Garrett.
Well, Abe, I am grateful and honored that this is one of your favorite segments. And this week,
I remember the last time I was on, I can't remember the number, but I can tell you what the tests were. Lumberjacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yep.
Great segment.
Yeah, man. That was 100 people a year.
Is that what it was? Crazy.
Yeah. So Matt, unfortunately, knows this week's number, so he can't play along.
I cannot participate this week, but as always, for our viewers and listeners, if you guys have guesses, once Garrett gives us the number, shout them out in the comments and we'll get them on screen.
All right, here we go. So this statistic comes from the U.S., North America only, and it is since 2013. to 2019, the average is 42 people a year.
42 people per year in North America die from this.
Mm-hmm.
I have to wonder why it's an average. Why not? Is it just not a number?
Well, because, okay, so last year it was 62. The year before that was like 39.
No,
The year
it's literally an average, but is there any reason why you did an average over 3 years instead of just picking one?
because the CDC website gave the comment between 2013.
Got a hint from him.
Hey, Q, it's not sex toys, Q. Good guess, but it's not sex toys.
Is it some form of people who died from some kind of disease? I'm going to assume
it is not medical.
Oh, okay. And you had the CDC.
Is it avalanches?
It is not. We did do avalanches at one point.
Avalanches.
I don't remember.
Is it any form of natural death from a natural occurrence?
Nope. I'm just gonna hint out at this is an accident.
Okay.
Reading the comments here.
Ruling out natural accidents like getting hit by lightning.
Jim, it is not sex with your ex.
Nope.
It's an accident. It's a death by accident. Okay, it's not sports related.
Correct. It is not. It is not window cleaning. We did do that one. It is not boating accidents.
Is it something in the service industry?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Not sports.
Not meteorites.
Okay.
Not bike riding. Not falling off. We already did falling off ladders.
We did ladders. Charging electric cars. Wow.
This is tough. This is tougher. I think you're throwing me off with the average amount. That's why.
Well, this is a good guess, but it's not right. But oil rig accidents, that's a very good guess.
That is a good guess.
But it's not right.
Okay, it's in the United States.
Yep.
Correct.
Right.
Yep, this is just U.S.
Oh, this is another good guess.
Agricultural.
Not agricultural.
Not agricultural.
Is there a power tool, or is it something that's have to do with tools or mechanics?
Not tools. Now, Abe, I'm going to give you another
machinery related.
Machinery? No, okay. I think that's the wrong tree to go down. I will say that you recently talked about this particular thing in the last week.
Ooh,
that's a big hint right there.
Ooh. Deaths on I-95?
No, sir.
No, not
and
not submarines.
Not submarines.
I talk too much. So where would you have heard me talking in the last week? It had to be a Pete Johnson event.
It was not a Pete Johnson event.
Where else was I in the last week? I'm doing interviews. I don't know.
Where are you?
KMA. Okay, yeah. KMA. So who was on Ernesto Perez Carrillo? What was I talking about? Wow.
No, this was
Juan Lopez.
Juan Lopez from Gurkha.
Juan Lopez. It's not COVID. Is it the flu?
Not food allergies. Not falling off a roof.
Jim, it's not scared to death. We did scared to death last week.
Alcohol poisoning?
Or 2 weeks ago.
Alcohol poisoning?
No, sir.
Nope. I was thinking Juan Lopez that had to come up somewhere. Alcohol.
Not hot sauce. Not bee stings.
Oh,
Trick. No,
trick or treat candy?
No.
No, wow, that was a good one.
That was a
that
good
was.
guess.
That was a good guess.
See, you guys are great because you give us these comments and these guesses. That gives us ideas for future shows.
It does.
I love it. Fuel your own source. It's
Yep.
great.
It is.
Oh,
Oh, smoking a Swisher.
Uh,
we
all right.
need a hint.
Let's give you another one.
Oh,
It is.
is that snowmobiling?
It's not snowmobiling. It is transportation related.
Helicopter.
Yep.
I don't know why I didn't ask a transportation question. Helicopter. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, don't fly helicopters. That shit kills you.
I
So,
remember
yes.
I was watching the rebroadcast on YouTube of your show, and man, I was just so taken by how adamant you were about helicopters. And I contacted Garrett right away. I said, dude, this is what we have to do for the show.
Yep.
When Abe is on.
I'm telling you, I sent it to my operations guy. Like, he wanted me to come into the Great Smoke. I said, are you on crack? There's no way I'm getting out. And then after I said that, like, he noticed 3 deaths of people he knew in a helicopter, man. You just don't do helicopters.
Yep.
So, I mean, aside from, people over the last several decades that I can remember, notable celebrities and such who've died in helicopters, you personally have known people who perished in helicopter accidents?
5.
Yeah.
Wow.
5. First one was when I was, how old are you in 5th grade?
10?
10 years old.
10 years old is the first person I met died in a helicopter. Yep.
Man.
Yep. I can't, I mean, it's just that.
I've never been in a helicopter, so.
That's why you're still here.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why you're still here.
Well, Abe, I thank you. Would you like to call us out for Numero de los Muertos?
I don't know how to call you out. I don't remember.
Just you just say, and that was this week's
Numeros de los Muertos. Did I do it all right?
boom. You did it.
I was slow on the trigger with the sound, though. I was slow on the trigger with the sound.
Numeros de los Muertos. I'm telling you, you guys inspired me to make my show better.
I love that.
I gotta think of something. This is like brilliant.
Well, you were talking about how, competition is good. Retailers make retailers better.
Yeah.
And honestly, if it wasn't for all the other shows who are light years way ahead of our show, Coop and Cigar Dojo, and I mean, we just strive to just make things a little more fun and interesting all the time. And those guys make, they give us kind of a drive to do a little better each week. So
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, even Alex, my operations guy, is a great segment. It's a great segment. Love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And by the way, he
That
wants me to correct myself because I slipped earlier and I said those party in the boxes were going to go out the 2nd week of November. It's the 2nd week of February. You're gonna get packages right the week before the event. So, and they're going to go out signature confirmation. So we want to make sure everybody gets them like a good week before the event starts.
nice. All right. So a couple non-cigar related questions.
Yes.
If you could choose to hear the thoughts of one living person for 10 minutes, who would it be and why?
Great question. Dude, do you want to produce a show?
Yeah,
I'm telling you, great question.
I do produce a show.
Man,
It's called How About That Cigar Live?
I'm telling you, you want moonlighting? No, we just got a new producer, Val, so we need to give her a fair crack. So I was beating up on Paul, not you, Val. In case you
No, we know Val and we love Val, but we had a chance to get Val, but I screwed it up. So
I still got the scars from the Paul DeCrocco era of producing. But if I can hear anybody's thoughts, oh gosh. I don't know if I want to be silly, funny, or like is this like a deep question?
Whatever you want it to
It could
be.
be either.
I mean, honestly, I'd say my youngest daughter.
Wow, that
I've
is
not had that.
that is a first time answer, and it's a
She was
great
so
answer.
unique. And this girl, like she should have been born in the 70s. She's just always happy. I just like to know what's in her head sometimes.
Yeah, I love that.
How can you exist like that? My other kids will fight and bicker, but she's always smiling, always happy. I'd like to know how a brain exists like that, where you just everything's always in a good mood.
Yeah,
I love that.
Happy, yeah.
that's a great answer.
That is, Abe.
All right, so
Oh, Quinn Thor said my wife's. No, dude. My
no,
wife tells me exactly what's in her head every minute of the day. I don't have to wonder what's in my wife's head.
we've said this so many times on the show, but if there are any thoughts left in, and everybody knows I love my wife to death, but if there are any thoughts left in her head that she hasn't already told me,
Right?
I don't want to know.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to know.
Agreed.
Some things are better left unsaid.
True.
All right, so Abe, if you were about to get into a fight, what would your soundtrack music be?
Ooh.
You can pick any song, any music, anything.
Oh wow, man, these are some good questions. You thinking this shit up on your own?
Yeah.
God damn, these are good questions.
Thank you.
It's a tough call between Eye of the Tiger and Welcome to the Jungle. I'm not sure where. I love that old school Rocky. Eye of the Tiger. But Welcome to the Jungle is just always fitting for a fight.
That's a great
I
one.
like
I
it.
don't think we've definitely had Eye of the Tiger. I think crazy as it sounds, I think that's the first time we've heard Welcome to the Jungle.
I think so too.
But yeah, that's great fight music. All right, choose one of the following. You could hit a home run as a starting pitcher. You could score a touchdown as a defensive lineman. You could score a hockey goal as the goalie, or you could score a soccer goal as the goalie.
I've done two of those.
What?
Okay, I'm going to say a lineman. Because you were a football player.
I've scored a few touchdowns as a lineman.
Okay, what's the other one?
I've scored a few goals as a goalie. I was an indoor soccer goalie.
Wow!
No kidding.
Yes.
That is a first.
I'm
first.
gonna dig this up. I have our league photo. We actually won the league that year, indoor soccer. It was like an 18 to 20 league, and I think I'm like 12 in the picture. 13. I'm literally big, like the second biggest guy in the whole photo. But yeah, I played goalie. I played goalie and fullback in real soccer up until high school. And then I played in a night indoor soccer league because we're Middle Eastern. We grew up playing soccer. It was a big thing for us. So yeah, I was an indoor goalie. So actually, I scored a goal as a goalie. And I've scored a touchdown. So I don't know if that question really works for me that well. I've done 2 or 4 of those.
No, I love that. I mean, this is not only is it the first time anybody has said they've actually done that, you've done it twice in 2 categories. That's awesome. I love it.
Scoring a goal in indoor soccer is a little bit easier as a goalie than scoring a goal, in a full outdoor field. But yeah. I did it. I did it in an indoor soccer league, and I scored a few touchdowns actually on defense.
Nice.
So what would you pick? What was either the best, or of the other ones, would you rather do one of the other things, or?
Oh, the baseball one I don't really relate to. What was the other one?
Hockey.
Yeah, hockey.
I don't relate to hockey because I didn't play it, but I think scoring the goal as a goalie in soccer is just way more unexpected. It's not really that uncommon to score a touchdown. When we played, our defense was we had 7 shutouts out of 9 games. We were a huge defensive team, so that's not uncommon. But it's very crazy to score a goal as a goalie because that doesn't happen. Yeah. So that to me stands out as the harder accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So Each week we do a notable smokable where we talk about something interesting that we've smoked over the course of the last week. It could be a cigar that's brand new to the market or something that's a classic that's been on humidor shelves for decades. So Garrett, why don't you go first this week?
So yesterday I had my first cigar in over a week due to COVID. And I had the Padilla Connecticut. And
Is he still making cigars?
yeah,
Really?
yes.
I'm not. Well, I'll say this. I don't. And
Somebody's using the name. I don't know if he's still making cigars.
So I'm saying this from a place of not being 100% knowledgeable about it.
Yeah,
but
that's
to the
true.
best of my knowledge, he is not making the cigars anymore. But there is still a brand name called.
Yeah, that happens a lot sometimes. Somebody will acquire a brand because I haven't seen him or heard from him, or I mean, not a peep or a sound. So I was shocked when you said that.
Yeah.
So that would be a good research. I'm going to look that up and see who's making those cigars.
Yeah. So Abe, is there something you smoked recently that even if it's something that you smoked for the first time in 15 years and you're like, holy crap, this is still a good cigar?
I smoked 2 cigars for the first time in ever. So this week, and they were both good. One was the event cigar, the Shrunken Pumpkin that we had for the Titois event. I had never had a regular pumpkin or any pumpkin, so that was my first pumpkin cigar, and I really, really liked it. And oddly enough, a guy stopped by, Henderson Ventura Cigars, and we don't carry his brands. He happened to be in Florida, wanted to stop by, told him to swing by, hang out, left me some samples. I can't tell you, but it was like a gold metallic. It wasn't a metallic. It was a copper looking label, looked like a penny. I'm not sure what line that was, but I smoked it. And anybody who could correct me or help me out, but who knows the lines better than I do? We don't carry them, but it's literally a line that had a label that looked like as if it was a copper penny or brass label, and brushed brass or whatever.
Yeah,
but it was a great cigar.
Nice.
Two first times in 1 week, and they were both enjoyed them very, very much.
Yeah, he's somebody I keep meaning to reach out to. I just haven't done that yet. So
very nice guy. He needs to work the circuit. One of the pieces of advice I gave him in my office, I said, "You got a great story.
Yeah,
you know how to make cigars. Stop worrying about how to make cigars. Start telling people who you are."
Yeah,
so we'll see if he takes my advice, but no, he had some really good product.
So my notable this week is from JRE, the Aladino Cameroon Lonsdale. I mean, so I've enjoyed the Aladino line since they came out 4 years ago or whenever the original Aladino hit, and then they've had different iterations. You know, the Corojo and the Connecticut. This Cameroon is, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I'll spoil it for you. The review's coming out soon. It's ridiculously good. It is ridiculously good.
Justo is making some really, really good cigars.
Yeah.
He really, really is. I think he's going to be a big up and comer. If he would ever maybe get and figure out how to, wield the power of social media and marketing a little better, because right now most of the hype is being created by people who smoke cigars just like it.
Yeah.
And got really, really good product. In fact, I'll tell you guys right now, it was one of my choices for an upcoming Cigar of the Month Club. So we'd already put something out, and we had just gotten the cigars, or he's just shipping them today. So there'll be one in a month, next month, I don't know, but it's definitely in the queue for a Smoking Cigar of the Month Club selection, because I like the stuff he's making. He's really, really good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how a lot of my Cigar of the Month Club picks are. I'll try something. All right, I got to reach out to the guy. I want this cigar, my Cigar of the Month Club, or I'll try something I haven't had in 10 years. I'm like, man, why don't I not smoke this more often? How often do you guys do that? You ever revisit a cigar like you haven't had in 10 years?
Oh yeah, that we talk about that on sometimes our notable smokable of the week will be, a Fuente short story or an Undercrown, or who knows, it could be or an original Padron or something like that. You just never know.
Yeah.
And that's one of the great things about this is, and we even do these things that we call flashback reviews, where we'll take a cigar that because normally cigar reviews are, on sites that do reviews, they're going to be cigars that are new because people want to read about the new cigars. But I thought it was an interesting idea to take cigars that have been on the market forever that maybe haven't been reviewed recently and see how they're smoking today in 2020.
Right.
And
great idea.
So it's because maybe cigars that have been on the market for 15 years, maybe they're not as good as they were 15 years ago. Maybe they're better. Who knows? But I think it's fun sometimes to go back and smoke those ones that used to be in our regular rotation, but we haven't touched in a while.
Especially if that company got acquired, then that always should be done. Because I tell you what,
yes,
blends will change after an acquisition. I've seen it pretty many times in my career.
That is true.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They'll tell you they didn't, but my tongue tells me differently.
Yeah, the palate doesn't lie. Unless you just went through COVID and then your palate lies.
Yeah, it lies a lot. Now, Abe, do you ever smoke hookah?
It's my culture.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm not like, I don't have one. I have one at the house because actually my wife and my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law is like a hookah goddess. But we grew up in my culture, so like we go to the Middle East or we have relatives over. We've had them, whatever. I'm not like it's too much work. See, that's why I never got to a pipe. All right. Now, if you go to the Middle East and you go to a hookah bar and you don't got to do nothing, and the little dude comes and services it, yeah, that's a great night. But it's too much work. That's why I never got into a pipe. You got to pack it. You got to cure it. You can't smoke the same pipe. It's like a job. I want to relax. I want to cut a cigar, light it, and enjoy it. That's kind of why I've never really. I had pipes. I tried to get in pipes. It was like a job. I work all day. When I go to enjoy something, I don't want to work. And like hookah, if you got one at home, it's like a job. Getting the coal hot, packing it in. I like it as a smoking experience. Don't get me wrong. It's just not something I'll partake in a regular basis. Too much work.
Yeah.
So for our viewers and listeners, give you an idea of what we have coming up next week. Next week, we actually are doing double duty. So in addition to our regular Tuesday night show, we have a special Wednesday night show. So Tuesday night, our regular night on the 10th, we're going to talk to Ben Holt from Dissident Cigars. This will be his second visit with us on the show. He's got a couple new facings coming out that we want to tell you all about. And then the very next night, Wednesday night, we are going to be part of the Lazona Palooza takeover. They are going wild on cigar media to get the word out about Lazona Palooza. So we are going to have them on Wednesday night to be a part of the Lazona Palooza takeover. So 2 shows next week, Tuesday night and Wednesday night. Definitely don't want to miss out on that. Abe, give everybody a final idea. That final plug for where's the best place for them to get all the info about the stuff we talked about tonight.
Well, if you want any information on the Great Smoke, go to thegreatsmoke.com. It's all there. It'll constantly being updated so that you can even buy your tickets there. There are tickets available. I think we sold. It went on sale yesterday. I think yesterday we sold 3 times the amount we did the first day of last year. So we're on pace to have a pretty good turnout for it. So thegreatsmoke.com, and if anybody's interested in our Cigar of the Month club we talked about, just go to smokein.com and there's a link there for our weekly club, our cigar club.
Nice. Well, I think we just lost Garrett. I don't know why, but that's okay. So that's really it, guys. For our viewers and listeners, again, this beautiful prize pack that I am holding in my hand right here, with all kinds of just ridiculously beautiful swag and other beautiful stuff in there, and I'm going to throw in a few treats of my own from my own personal stuff.
Nice.
So, you guys, anybody who left comments in here, whether it's on the YouTube video or the Facebook video, we're going to give you a few more days. So we're going to go until Friday at noon Central Time. So this Friday, noon Central Time, you still have a chance. Go on either the YouTube video or the Facebook video. You can still leave a comment. I'm going to take all the names. I'm going to put them into a spreadsheet, randomly pick a number. Somebody's going to win this insane prize pack. So keep leaving comments even for the next couple days. So this has been Abe. Thank you so much, brother. It's been an awesome time.
Garrett, Matt, thank you so much for having me again. Also, one more thing I just forgot to add. You reminded me, During the Great Smoke, we will have live drawings for epic prizes every hour on the hour, multiple people. So constant interaction. You just remind me with your epic giveaway. Guys, it's a pleasure. I love your show. I love your segment. Still have one of my favorite segments in the cigar media world. So keep up the great work, man. And we'll keep you guys posted as we can learn more things about the Great Smoke.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so
Awesome.
much. For all our viewers and listeners, as always, if you have questions, email us directly on the website, howaboutthatcigar.com. Follow us on social media at HBT Cigar. And until we see you next time, burn cigars.
Not bridges.
See you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.